She had been sitting there for 52 minutes. The cappuccino in front of her had gone cold, a thin film forming over the foam. Outside, Christmas lights blinked red and gold through frosted windows, casting colored shadows across empty tables. Inside, silence. Waiting. Everyone thought she'd been stood up. The barista brought her a second drink, free, with eyes full of pity. A woman in a leather jacket alone on Christmas Eve, checking her phone every few minutes, trying not to look as desperate as she felt. They whispered. They stared. A couple near the window kept glancing over, their expressions a mix of sympathy and secondhand embarrassment. But Maya didn't leave. At 8:23, the door opened. Cold air rushed in, carrying snowflakes and the sound of traffic. And then she walked in. Wet coat, hair plastered to her forehead, mascara slightly smudged beneath her eyes. A woman who looked like she'd fought through hell to get there. Their eyes met across the cafe, and Maya saw something she hadn't expected. Panic. Pure, unguarded panic. The woman crossed the room in quick strides, her boots leaving wet prints on the hardwood floor. Maya noticed the way other customers looked at her, some with curiosity, others with that particular brand of discomfort reserved for people who disrupt the careful order of things. Two women on a date. On Christmas Eve, in a small cafe where everyone knew everyone else's business. "I'm so sorry," the woman said, and her voice was breathier than Maya had imagined from their text exchanges. Lower, urgent, like she'd been running. "I'm Rachel. I know I'm late. My daughter, she's sick, and I couldn't find anyone to watch her. And the sitter finally showed up, but traffic was terrible because of the snow, and I almost turned back 3 times because I thought you'd be gone and I wouldn't blame you if you were. But I had to try." She stopped mid-sentence, realizing she was still dripping onto the floor, her coat leaving a small puddle by Maya's chair. Maya stood. She was shorter than Rachel by a few inches, even in her heeled boots, and up close she could see the exhaustion etched into the corners of Rachel's eyes, the worry lines between her eyebrows. She smelled faintly of children's soap and something else, maybe lavender, maybe just the cold. "It's okay," Maya said, and her voice came out softer than she intended. Warmer. "I understand." Rachel's gaze dropped to the 2 drinks on the table, then back to Maya's face. "You waited." "I did." "Why?" The question was too direct, too honest for a first meeting. Most people would have laughed it off, made some joke about having nowhere better to be. But Rachel just stood there, water dripping from her coat, eyes searching Maya's face for an answer that made sense. Maya sat back down, gesturing to the empty chair. "I don't know. But I'm glad I did." Rachel took the seat across from her, moving carefully, like she was afraid to take up too much space. The barista appeared with a towel, which Rachel accepted with a quiet thank you that sounded like she meant it. She dried her face, her neck, pushed wet hair back from her forehead. Her hands were small but strong, Maya noticed. Working hands, with short nails and a thin white scar across her left thumb. "How's your daughter?" Maya asked, because it seemed like the right thing to say, the thing that mattered most. Rachel set the towel on the edge of the table, folded it precisely even though it didn't need folding. "She's okay. High fever, but it broke about an hour ago. She's home with a sitter now, probably asleep." She paused, looked directly at Maya. "Her name is Lily. She's 6. That's a beautiful name. She's a beautiful kid." Rachel's expression softened for just a moment, then tightened again. "I tried to text you. The signal at my apartment is terrible, and then my phone died, and by the time I got it charged, I was already so late I figured you'd be gone." Maya felt something shift in her chest, a small crack in the wall she'd built between herself and this moment. "You almost didn't come. I almost didn't come." Rachel picked up the menu, put it down again without looking at it. "But Lily, when I was leaving, she asked where I was going. I told her I had a date, and she got this look on her face, this hopeful look like maybe her mom might actually be happy for once. And she said, "You should go, Mama. You deserve someone nice." "Is that what you're looking for?" Maya asked before she could stop herself. "Someone nice?" Rachel looked at her then, really looked at her, and Maya felt the full weight of her attention. It wasn't invasive or presumptuous. It was careful, considerate, like she was trying to see past the leather jacket and the careful makeup to whatever was underneath. "I don't know yet," Rachel said finally. "But you waited, so maybe." The couple at the window got up to leave, and in the brief silence that followed, Maya became aware of how loud her own heartbeat sounded. She reached for her coffee, the second one, still warm, and took a sip. It was too bitter. The barista had forgotten the sugar. She drank it anyway. "Your friend Jen said you work in social services," Maya said, trying to find solid ground in the conversation. "I do. Case management for at-risk families." Rachel's mouth twitched, almost a smile. "It pays just enough to keep us afloat." "Barely. That's important work." "That's not what I asked." Rachel leaned back in her chair, and for the first time since she'd walked in, some of the tension seemed to leave her shoulders. "No, it's not. But yes, it's important. Someone has to show up for people when everyone else has given up on them. I'm good at that part." The showing up. Maya thought about her own work, the marketing agency she'd built from nothing, the endless client meetings where she sold dreams and strategies and carefully curated brand identities. Did she show up for anyone, really? Or did she just show up for the paycheck? "What about you?" Rachel asked. "Jen said you run your own business." "I do. Marketing and brand development. Mostly tech startups and small businesses trying to scale." Maya heard how corporate she sounded and tried to soften it. "I help people tell their stories in ways that make other people care." "Do you care?" The question caught Maya off guard. She thought about saying yes automatically, the way she did with clients, with colleagues, with anyone who asked. But something about Rachel's steady gaze made lying feel impossible. "Sometimes," Maya admitted. "When the story matters. When the people are real and not just trying to sell something they don't believe in themselves. Most of the time I just try to pay my bills and not think too hard about whether any of it means anything." Rachel nodded slowly. "Yeah, I get that. Do you?" Rachel was quiet for a long moment. Outside, the snow was falling harder now, blurring the lights into soft halos. "Before Lily's dad left, I used to think if I could just work hard enough, be good enough, that would be enough to make him stay. When he left anyway, I realized nothing I did was ever going to be enough for someone who'd already decided I wasn't worth staying for." Maya set her cup down carefully. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. It was 4 years ago. We're better off without him." Rachel said it like she was trying to convince herself as much as Maya. "He sends money sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. That's more than a lot of people get." The barista came by again, this time with a notepad. Rachel ordered water. Just water. Maya saw the way her eyes skipped over the menu, avoiding the prices, and something in her chest tightened. "Get something to eat," Maya said. "Please. I'm fine." She waited until Rachel looked at her. "Get something to eat." Rachel ordered a grilled cheese, the cheapest thing on the menu besides toast. When the barista left, Maya felt the weight of the silence between them, heavy and awkward and strangely intimate all at once. "You didn't have to do that," Rachel said. "I know. I can pay for myself. I know that too." Rachel studied her for a moment, and Maya had the unsettling feeling that she could see straight through every defense she'd ever built. "Why did you really wait?" This time, Maya didn't have a quick answer. She thought about the last 6 months, the breakup that had left her feeling hollowed out and disposable. She thought about Jen's voice on the phone, gentle but firm. "You need to try, Maya. Just try." She thought about all the ways she'd convinced herself that being alone was easier, safer, better than risking this kind of vulnerability again. I think, Maya said slowly, I was hoping someone would wait for me too. Someday. And maybe if I could do it for someone else, it would mean it's possible. Rachel didn't say anything for a long moment. She just nodded, like she understood exactly what Maya meant, like maybe she'd been hoping for the same thing. Her phone buzzed. She pulled it out, glanced at the screen, and her whole face softened in a way that made Maya's chest ache. It's Lily, Rachel said, almost apologetic. She swiped to answer, and Maya heard a small hoarse voice on the other end. Mama? Hey baby, you okay? Yeah. I took my medicine like Sarah said. When are you coming home? Rachel's thumb traced the edge of her phone. Soon. Real soon. Is the lady nice? Maya felt her throat tighten. Rachel's eyes flicked to hers, and for a moment, Maya saw something raw and unguarded in her expression. Very nice, Rachel said softly. Good. You deserve someone nice, Mama. Maya looked away, focusing on the Christmas lights outside, blinking their steady rhythm. Red, gold, green. Red, gold, green. I'll be home in a bit, okay? Okay. You need anything? No. I just wanted to make sure you were having a good time. I am, sweetheart. I promise. Okay. Love you, Mama. Love you too, baby. Rachel ended the call and set the phone face down on the table. She didn't say anything for a long moment, and Maya didn't push. She understood somehow that this silence was its own kind of conversation. She worries about me, Rachel said eventually. She's 6 years old and she worries about me. That's not how it's supposed to work. She loves you. I know, but sometimes I think she'd be better off if I could give her more. A real house instead of a 2-bedroom apartment. 2 parents instead of just me. A mom who doesn't have to choose between paying the electric bill and buying new shoes when she outgrows the old ones. She stopped, shook her head. Sorry. You didn't sign up for this. Didn't I? Maya asked. Jen said you were a good mother. She didn't mention anything else. What else is there? The question hung between them, simple and devastating. Maya thought about all the things she used to believe mattered. The corner office she'd worked toward for years. The salary that finally let her stop worrying about rent. The invitations to networking events where everyone smiled and no one was happy. What else is there? The barista brought Rachel's grilled cheese, and she ate it slowly, methodically, like someone who'd learned not to waste food. Maya watched her without meaning to, noticing the way she wiped her mouth with a napkin after every few bites. The way she said thank you when the barista refilled her water. Small things, ordinary things, things her ex had stopped doing somewhere along the way. Can I ask you something? Rachel said, setting down the last quarter of her sandwich. Go ahead. Why are you here? Really? A woman like you? You could be anywhere, doing anything. Why a blind date with a single mom on Christmas Eve? Maya considered lying. It would be easy. She could say she was bored or curious or doing Jen a favor. But something about the way Rachel was looking at her, patient and open and waiting, made the truth feel less dangerous. Because I'm tired of being alone, Maya said, and I'm tired of pretending I'm not. Rachel nodded slowly. Yeah, I get that. Do you? Lily drew me a picture this morning. Rachel reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper, smoothed it carefully on the table between them. She wanted me to bring it. For luck, she said. Maya leaned forward. The drawing was simple, stick figures in crayon, 2 women holding hands. Above them, Lily had written in wobbly letters, Mama and her new friend. Merry Christmas. There was a small smudge in the corner, like someone had cried and tried to wipe it away. She wants you to be happy, Maya said quietly. She wants me to have what she can't give me. Rachel's voice was steady, but Maya heard the fracture beneath it. She's 6 years old, and she thinks it's her job to fix me. Maya's hand moved before she could think about it, reaching across the table to touch Rachel's wrist. Just briefly, just enough to ground her. "You're not broken." Rachel looked at Maya's hand, then at her face. "How do you know?" "Because broken people don't show up 50 minutes late to a blind date and still apologize for not being enough." Rachel almost smiled at that. Almost. "I should go. Lily's with a sitter, and I don't like leaving her too long, even when she's sleeping. I understand." Rachel stood, pulled out her wallet. Maya saw the worn leather, the frayed edges, the careful way she counted out bills for the sandwich. She wanted to tell her not to bother, that she'd take care of it, but she knew somehow that would hurt more than help. "Thank you for waiting," Rachel said. "I know it probably seemed crazy to just sit here while everyone stared at you." "Don't," Maya interrupted gently. "Don't apologize again. You're here. That's what matters." Rachel tucked Lily's drawing back into her pocket, and Maya felt a sudden, irrational urge to ask her to stay, just a little longer, just until the snow stopped, or the cafe closed, or she could figure out why this felt different from every other first date she'd ever had. "Can I?" Rachel stopped, started again. "Can I see you again? Or was this enough?" Maya stood, gathering her coat, her purse, her carefully constructed composure. "Do you have plans for the rest of the night? Just going home to Lily, making sure she's okay? Can I come with you?" The question surprised them both. Rachel blinked, and Maya felt heat rise in her cheeks, a sensation she hadn't experienced in years. "I don't mean," Maya started, but Rachel held up a hand. "I know what you mean." She hesitated. "Lily said she wanted to make paper snowflakes tonight. She's probably too sick, but if you wanted to, if you don't mind spending Christmas Eve cutting paper with safety scissors." "I'd like that," Maya said, and she meant it. They walked out into the snow together, side by side but not touching, and Maya felt something shift in her chest. Not certainty, not answers, just the beginning of a question she hadn't known she needed to ask. Rachel's apartment was a 20-minute bus ride from the cafe, and Maya followed her onto the number 12 without hesitation. They sat near the back, and through the fogged windows, Maya watched the city slide past, storefronts and streetlights and the occasional glimpse of families gathered around dinner tables. Rachel didn't try to fill the silence with small talk, and Maya was grateful for that. She needed the quiet to process what she was doing, following a stranger to her home on Christmas Eve because a 6-year-old had drawn a picture and a barista had brought her free coffee. The bus lurched to a stop on 5th Street, and Rachel stood. "This is us." The building was old, but well kept. Red brick, with white trim, and a row of mailboxes by the front door. Rachel's apartment was on the 3rd floor, and as they climbed the narrow staircase, Maya noticed the way the wood creaked under their feet, the way the hallway smelled like someone had been cooking something with garlic and tomatoes. It was nothing like her loft with its exposed brick and floor-to-ceiling windows. It was nothing like anywhere she'd ever lived. It was warm. Rachel unlocked the door and stepped inside, and Maya followed. The apartment was small, a living room that flowed into a kitchen, a hallway that probably led to 2 bedrooms. There was a Christmas tree in the corner, homemade ornaments hanging from every branch, construction paper stars, popsicle stick angels, a garland made from popcorn. And on the couch, curled under a blanket covered in unicorns, was Lily. She was small for 6, with dark hair that fell across her face and cheeks still flushed with fever. The TV was on, some cartoon with bright colors and cheerful music, but Lily's eyes were half closed, like she was fighting sleep. "Mama," Lily said, sitting up a little. "You're back." Rachel crossed the room and knelt beside her, pressing the back of her hand to Lily's forehead. "Still warm," she murmured, more to herself than to Maya. She adjusted the blanket, tucked it around Lily's shoulders, and when she stood, her expression was softer than Maya had seen all night. "She's beautiful," Maya whispered. Rachel looked at her daughter with something that went beyond love. Pride, grief, hope, all of it tangled together in a way Maya didn't fully understand, but recognized nonetheless. "She looks like her grandmother," Rachel said quietly. "Same eyes, same stubborn chin." Lily's gaze shifted to Maya, and there was no shyness in it, no hesitation, just curiosity. "Are you Mama's friend?" Maya moved closer, kneeling so she was at Lily's level. "I hope so. I'm Maya. I'm Lily." She coughed, a rough sound that made Rachel wince. "Did Mama show you my picture?" "She did. It's beautiful." Lily's smile widened. "Do you like snowflakes?" "I do." "Good, because Mama said we could make some tonight, but I don't think I can get up." She looked at Rachel, apologetic. "I'm sorry, Mama." "Hey." Rachel sat on the edge of the couch, brushing hair from Lily's face. "You don't apologize for being sick. We'll make snowflakes another time. But it's Christmas Eve, and you said we could make them and hang them in the window so Santa could find us." Lily's lower lip trembled, and Maya saw Rachel's resolve waver. Maya stood, crossing to the small kitchen. She opened cabinets until she found scissors and a stack of white copy paper. "What if," Maya said, turning back to them, "we made snowflakes here? Lily can tell us what to do, and we'll do the work. That way, she can still be part of it." Lily's eyes lit up. Rachel looked at Maya like she'd just offered something she didn't know she needed. "You don't have to," Rachel started, but Maya shook her head. "I want to." And she did. She didn't know why exactly. Maybe it was the way Lily looked at her mother, like she hung the moon. Maybe it was the homemade Christmas tree and the smell of cinnamon lingering in the air. Maybe it was the fact that for the first time in months, Maya felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. They made snowflakes. Lily directed from the couch, her voice hoarse but determined. "Fold it in half. No, the other way. Now cut a triangle. No, a smaller one. And Miss Maya, you have to make the edges curly or it won't look like real snow." Maya had never made snowflakes before. Her childhood Christmases had been quiet, formal affairs with store-bought decorations and catered meals. But she tried, cutting careful shapes into folded paper while Rachel worked beside her. The first snowflake she unfolded was lopsided and missing half its points. Lily giggled, a sound that filled the small apartment like light. "It's perfect," Lily declared. "Now make another one." They worked for over an hour, paper scraps littering the floor, Rachel's shoulder occasionally brushing against Maya's as they reached for scissors or compared their creations. Somewhere along the way, Maya stopped thinking about how strange this was, stopped questioning why she was here. She just existed in the moment, cutting paper and listening to Lily's instructions, and feeling Rachel's presence beside her like something solid and real. When they finished, they had 23 snowflakes in various shapes and sizes. Rachel found tape, and together they hung the snowflakes in the window, creating a curtain of white paper that caught the light from the street lamps outside. "It's beautiful," Lily whispered, her eyes wide. "Now Santa will definitely find us." Rachel looked at Maya, and something passed between them, unspoken but understood. A recognition that this moment mattered, that they were building something fragile and important and terrifying. "Can Miss Maya stay for a little bit?" Lily asked. "Please?" Rachel hesitated. "Maya probably has plans, sweetie." "I don't," Maya said. "I don't have plans." Lily sat up a little straighter. "So you can stay?" Maya thought about her loft, empty and cold. She thought about the work emails waiting in her inbox, and the holiday party invitation she'd declined, because the thought of being around happy couples made her chest hurt. She thought about all the reasons she should say no. "I'd like that," she said instead. Lily's face lit up. "Then you have to see my room. I have posters and stuffed animals, and Mama says I have too many books, but I don't think there's such a thing as too many books." Rachel laughed, a sound Maya wanted to hear again and again. Okay, but just for a minute. You need to rest. Lily took Maya's hand, small fingers wrapping around hers, and led her down the hallway. Her room was exactly what Maya expected. Walls covered in drawings and posters of cartoon characters, a shelf overflowing with books and stuffed animals, a twin bed with a quilt that looked handmade. Mama made that, Lily said, pointing to the quilt. She says every square is a different memory of us being happy. Maya looked at the quilt more closely. Each square was a different fabric, some with patterns, some solid colors, all stitched together with careful, even seams. It must have taken months. Your mama loves you very much, Maya said. I know. Lily climbed onto her bed, suddenly looking very small and very tired. Do you think she likes you? Maya knelt beside the bed. I hope so. Do you think she likes me? Lily nodded seriously. She smiled at you. She doesn't smile at people very much anymore. Not like she used to. But she smiled at you. That's a good sign? That's a really good sign. Lily's eyes were starting to close. Miss Maya? Yes? Thank you for making Mama happy, even if it's just for tonight. Maya felt tears sting her eyes. She leaned forward and kissed Lily's forehead gently. Thank you for letting me be here. When she stood, Rachel was in the doorway, watching them with an expression Maya couldn't quite name. They left Lily's room quietly, pulling the door almost closed behind them. In the living room, Rachel gestured to the couch. Do you want some tea? Or, I think I have hot chocolate somewhere. Tea is fine. Rachel disappeared into the kitchen, and Maya heard the sounds of a kettle filling, cabinets opening and closing. She sat on the couch, surrounded by paper snowflakes and the glow of Christmas lights, and felt something settle in her chest. Not certainty, not answers, just a sense of rightness she hadn't felt in a long time. Rachel returned with 2 mugs of tea, handed one to Maya, and sat beside her. Not too close, but not too far either. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, steam rising from their mugs. I don't know what we're doing, Rachel said finally. Me neither. But I'm glad you're here. Maya turned to look at her. Me too. You can leave whenever you want. I won't be offended. I know this is probably not what you signed up for when Jen set this up. What did I sign up for? Rachel shrugged. I don't know. A normal date, maybe. Dinner and conversation and figuring out if we have anything in common. Not showing up late and dragging you to my apartment to make snowflakes with my sick kid. Maya set her tea down on the coffee table. Rachel, if I wanted a normal date, I wouldn't have waited 52 minutes in a cafe while everyone stared at me like I was pathetic. I stayed because something told me you were worth waiting for. And I came here because I wanted to see who you really are. Not who you are when you're trying to impress someone on a first date. And? Rachel asked quietly. Who am I? Someone who shows up for people. Someone who makes quilts with memory squares and homemade Christmas ornaments. Someone whose daughter draws pictures of her being happy because she knows her mom deserves it. Someone who apologizes too much and worries about taking up space and still somehow makes room for everyone else. Rachel's eyes filled with tears. I'm scared, she admitted. I'm scared of wanting this. Wanting you. Because what if it doesn't work? What if you realize I'm too much or not enough or just not what you're looking for? I can't fall apart again. I have Lily to think about. Maya reached for her hand, rough calluses against smooth skin. I'm scared too. I spent the last 6 months convincing myself I was better off alone, that it was safer not to try. And then I met you, and you were late and apologetic and so worried about being enough, and I realized I've been waiting for someone like you. Someone real. Rachel's fingers tightened around hers. I don't know how to do this. I haven't dated anyone seriously since Lily's dad. I don't know how to let someone in without wondering when they're going to leave. Then we figure it out together. one day at a time. No pressure, no expectations, just showing up. Can you do that? Rachel asked. Show up for someone like me? Someone like you? Maya echoed. Rachel, you showed up 50 minutes late to a blind date because your daughter was sick. You work a job you probably don't get paid enough for because you care about helping people. You make snowflakes at night and read bedtime stories, and you waited. You waited for love even when it hurt. If I can't show up for someone like you, then I don't deserve to show up anywhere. Rachel was crying now, quiet tears that tracked down her cheeks. Maya wiped them away with her thumb. Stay, Rachel whispered. Not just for tonight. I don't mean move in or anything crazy. I just mean stay. Keep showing up. Give us a chance. Maya thought about all the reasons she should say no. The logistics, the complications, the fact that they barely knew each other. But then she thought about Lily's drawing and the way Rachel had fought through snow and traffic and exhaustion to make it to their date. She thought about the paper snowflakes in the window and the way Rachel's hand felt in hers. Okay, she said. I'll stay. Rachel kissed her then, soft and tentative, and Maya kissed her back. It wasn't fireworks or fairy tales. It was just two scared people choosing to be brave together. They talked for hours after that, sitting on the couch while the city grew quiet outside. Rachel told her about Lily's father, about how he'd left when Lily was 2, said he wasn't ready to be a dad, wasn't ready for the responsibility. Maya told her about her ex, about the slow dissolution of a relationship that had never quite felt right, about the loneliness that came from being with someone who never really saw you. Around midnight, Maya fell asleep on the couch, Rachel's shoulder warm against hers. When she woke, early morning light was filtering through the paper snowflakes, creating patterns on the floor. Rachel was still beside her, awake, watching her with soft eyes. Merry Christmas, Rachel whispered. Merry Christmas. Lily appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. You stayed, she said to Maya, her voice full of wonder. I stayed. Lily climbed onto the couch between them, snuggling into the space they'd left open. Can we have pancakes? Mama makes the best pancakes. They made pancakes together, the 3 of them, and they were lumpy and slightly burned, but Lily declared them perfect. They ate in the living room, watching the snow that had fallen overnight, and Maya thought about all the Christmas mornings she'd spent alone, all the expensive brunches and champagne toast that had never felt like this, like home. Her phone rang. Jen, Maya answered. Where are you? Jen demanded. I've been calling since last night. I'm with Rachel. Silence. Then, you're still with her? Maya, the date was last night. I know. And you're still there? Maya looked at Rachel, who was helping Lily clean syrup off her hands, patient and gentle and everything Maya had been looking for without knowing it. Yeah, I'm still here. Maya Chen, Jen said slowly. Are you telling me you spent Christmas with a woman you just met? Yes. More silence. Then Jen laughed, a sound of pure delight. Good. That's good. How do you feel? Maya thought about it. Terrified, she admitted. But good. Really good. Then stay terrified, Jen said. That's how you know it's real. After she hung up, Rachel caught her eye. Everything okay? Yeah, Maya said. Everything's okay. And it was. For the first time in longer than she could remember, everything was okay. They spent Christmas Day together, all 3 of them. They watched movies and played board games that Lily always won, even when Maya was pretty sure she was making up rules. They made more snowflakes and hot chocolate, and when evening came, Maya helped put Lily to bed again. She read her a story about a princess who saved herself, and when Lily's eyes started to close, she kissed her forehead without thinking. Good night, Miss Maya, Lily whispered. Good night, sweetheart. In the hallway, Rachel was waiting. Thank you, she said quietly, for staying. For being here. For just... She stopped, shook her head. Thank you. Maya reached for her hand. I waited 52 minutes for you to walk into that cafe. I'm not going anywhere now. Rachel pulled her close, and Maya let herself be held. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't what she'd planned. But it was real. And after years of chasing things that didn't matter, real was exactly what she needed. What happens now? Rachel asked, her voice muffled against Maya's hair. Maya thought about her loft and her business, and the life she'd built that suddenly felt too empty to go back to. She thought about this small apartment with its paper snowflakes and homemade ornaments, and the way Lily had called her Miss Maya, like it was the most natural thing in the world. I don't know, she said honestly. But maybe we don't have to know yet. Maybe we just keep showing up. Rachel pulled back to look at her. Can you do that? Show up every day, even when it's hard? Especially when it's hard, Maya said, because that's when it matters most. Rachel kissed her then, deeper this time, and Maya felt something inside her click into place. Not completion, not wholeness, just recognition. This was what she'd been waiting for. When they pulled apart, Rachel was smiling. Stay tonight? I will. But I need to go home tomorrow. Get some clothes, check on my place. And then I'll come back. If that's okay. It's okay. It's more than okay. They fell asleep on the couch again, tangled together under a blanket that smelled like lavender and fabric softener. And when Maya woke in the morning, Lily was standing next to them, staring with wide eyes. Did you guys have another sleepover? Lily whispered. Yeah, Rachel said, her voice rough with sleep. I guess we did. Lily climbed onto the couch, fitting herself into the space between them like she belonged there. Can Miss Maya stay forever? Maya met Rachel's eyes over Lily's head. She saw fear there, and hope, and the same question she was asking herself. Not forever, Maya said gently, but for now. Is that okay? Lily nodded, satisfied. For now is good. For now means you might stay later too. Maybe, Maya said. Would you like that? Lily looked up at her with serious eyes. Yeah, I think you make Mama happy, and Mama deserves to be happy. What about you? Maya asked. Do you deserve to be happy? Lily thought about it. Yeah, and I think you could make us both happy. If you wanted to. Maya felt her throat tighten. I want to. Then it's settled, Lily announced. You're part of our family now, at least for now, and maybe for later too. They made breakfast together, toast and eggs that Rachel cooked while Maya and Lily set the table. It was domestic and ordinary, and nothing like the life Maya had imagined for herself. It was better. Over the next weeks, Maya did go home. She packed a bag, dealt with work emails, told her assistant she needed some time. But every evening, she found herself back at Rachel's apartment, helping with dinner, reading bedtime stories to Lily, falling asleep on the couch with Rachel beside her. They didn't talk about the future. They didn't make plans or promises. They just showed up for each other, day after day, building something that felt more solid than anything Maya had ever built alone. 2 months later, Maya's lease came up for renewal. She stood in her loft, looking at the exposed brick and floor-to-ceiling windows, and felt nothing. No attachment, no sense of home, just empty space that had never felt like hers. She called her landlord and gave notice. Then she called Rachel. Can I come over? Maya asked. Of course. Everything okay? Yeah, everything's good. I just need to talk to you about something. When she arrived, Lily was already in bed, and Rachel was on the couch with a stack of case files. She set them aside when Maya walked in. What's up? Maya sat beside her, nervous in a way she hadn't been since their first date. I didn't renew my lease. Rachel's eyes widened. What? I've been thinking about it for weeks. That loft, it's nice, but it's not home. It's never been home. And then I come here, and Lily tells me about her day, And you make terrible coffee that I pretend is good. And we watch cartoons on Saturday mornings. And I realize something. What? This is home. You and Lily. This small apartment with its creaking floors and homemade decorations. This is where I want to be. Rachel was crying now. Are you asking what I think you're asking? I'm asking if I can stay. Not just for now. For later, too. For as long as you'll have me. Rachel pulled her close, kissing her hard, and Maya tasted salt from her tears. Yes, Rachel whispered. Yes, you can stay. They told Lily the next morning. She was eating cereal at the kitchen table, milk dribbling down her chin, when Rachel said, Miss Maya is going to be living with us. Is that okay? Lily looked at Maya, then at Rachel, then back at Maya. Forever? Maybe, Maya said, if that's okay with you. Lily set down her spoon very carefully. Then we need to make a new quilt square. One that's for all three of us. That night they sat together on the floor, Lily between them, and cut fabric into pieces that they'd eventually stitch together. Lily chose purple for Maya, because purple is the color of magic, she said, and you're kind of magic because you made Mama smile again. Maya held that piece of purple fabric and thought about the woman she'd been 6 months ago. Lonely, guarded, convinced that love was something that happened to other people. And now here she was, sitting on the floor of a small apartment, cutting fabric with safety scissors while a 6-year-old explained the rules of quilt making, and the woman she loved watched them with soft eyes. It wasn't what she'd planned. It wasn't what she'd expected. But it was real. And it was enough. More than enough. It was everything.